As a 20-year career coaching veteran who literally helps thousands of people every single month get new, better paying jobs, there are three questions that if I was going on a job interview and talking to the hiring manager, I would ask to differentiate myself and to psychologically tell them I'm the must have candidate. And I'm going to share those three with you today. It's going to take me more than 30 seconds, though. So if you don't have time, bookmark it and come back because you'll want to ask these next time you're talking to a hiring manager. So, first, let me set the stage. A hiring manager is looking at you and has already decided, look, if you've made the cut and you're on the interview, a whole bunch of people have the same level of experience as you. So now I'm just trying to discern and validate and get the evidence that you will provide the return on the investment I need to hire you. So I'm trying to figure out, will you save or make me enough money to justify the cost of hiring you? And as I've mentioned before, you're going to need to prove that you're worth at least 130 to 140% of your salary. Studies show that companies not only pay your salary, but they have overhead, they have got taxes and all these other things. So I'm psychologically, as a hiring manager, going, are you really going to provide that return? They call it the ROI. And so the questions that I ask the hiring manager is going to help them understand, I know that, right? These three questions are going to make them go, wow, she really knows that her job is to provide a really good return on the investment, to provide the evidence. So the first question that I would ask this hiring manager is, what keeps you up at night? Or what is something that you would want to see the person in this role do to make your work easier? Obviously, my job is to come on here and hopefully take some things off your plate, ease the burden so you can do more of what you do as the manager. What are you looking for in a candidate who can ease that burden, take something off your plate, again, make work better for you? What I'm saying there is the obvious, right? My job isn't to add to your plate. My job isn't to make your job harder. So tell me what it looks like. Tell me what I would need to do to make that look easier. Okay. And then the second question I'd ask them is, hey, I know my job is to save or make enough money to justify the cost of hiring me. So when you think about this job, tell me, in your opinion, how it saves or makes this company money. Why is it a critical role? What is it about this role that's going to ensure that the company is successful? I think I know the answer to it, but I'd love to hear your perspective on that as the hiring manager. And so notice what I'm saying there is, I have a sense of how this saves or makes the company money, but I want to hear from you. You're the hiring manager, which is sending code to whatever you give me for an answer. I understand I need to deliver on. So, of course, I want to hear from you what you think is so important about this job that saves or makes the company enough money to justify even hiring somebody for this position. So that's another thing to really get in there and know what I'm going to have to deliver on. And then the third question that I'm definitely going to want to ask this person, and this one I've always found is a little sneaky, but it's great. I would say, can you tell me about somebody that you hired? You don't have to name names, that just knocked it out of the park. That in the first 90 days, you knew you made a great hire. Can you tell me what they did in those first 90 days that gave you that reassurance that they were the right fit and that they were going to do well in the role? See, what you're doing there is saying, what do I have to do in the first 90 days to impress you? And again, this allows that hiring manager to think about it and share someone. Now, why is that question tricky? Because let's say this hiring manager has been talking all about work-life balance and all this great stuff at the company, but then you ask who did a great job in the first 90 days, and they're like, oh, I hired Bill and he worked nights and weekends and he took on so much work and he was great. Like he just, he's only supposed to work 40 hours a week, but he worked 60. That's not an example of work-life balance. So the other neat thing about all three of these questions, but that third one in particular, is that when they tell you who did the best job in the first 90 days, it reveals a lot about what they truly value. And sometimes hiring managers say one thing in an interview, but in reality, they value a different. So these three questions for me are really sending the message, I understand my job. My job is to save or make enough money, solve problems, alleviate pain. So tell me what those problems are and what I need to solve. Tell me how I need to save and make you money so you'll be impressed. And tell me what I've got to do in those first 30 days to really make sure that you know you made the right decision. These are the questions that are going to separate you from the pack, my friends. I promise you. If this helped, will you help me back? I'm trying to help millions of you this year. I can't work with all of you one-on-one. So I built a free resource center. No credit card required. All you got to do is pop your email address in. You not only get access to $1,000 of courses that I've built, but you also get reminders to come to my podcast. I have a live podcast 3 times a week. I would love to see you there where I can answer your questions. So join me, especially if TikTok's going to go away, right? So join me in the free resource center. Let me help you as much as I can this year because I love you all, and good luck with those questions. You got it. Go get them.